Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very wonderful day and a very blessed day, guys. As you can see, guys, I'm still back in order to discuss the next super villain and also the greatest super villain known as Showface, who is a personal enforcer of an ancient secret society of super villains known as the Dark Order. Remember the Dark Order, guys, that I told you about? The Dark Order is quietly led by another ancient, powerful villain known as Red Bolt. He's a founder and leader of the Dark Order, and he's the one in leading the Shadow Empire right now, quietly in a competition against the newly little magic and his ancient secret society at this moment and at this stage, guys. As you can see, guys, the sky is quietly up. It's very quietly beautiful as always. I don't know exactly how the weather it is quietly, guys, to you, but it's quietly still the same to me. It's always a bit windy, and it's also getting very quietly hot nowadays. Very hot, truly hot, as in literally hot, guys. So very quietly hot. But despite that, guys, I'm shooting until Friday, and you won't exactly be seeing me somewhere within September, which I exactly have to keep telling you because I'll be doing my college. I'll be finishing off my dog training. I'll be finishing off my dog training college during within September. But I'll be exactly be back shooting more episodes and more characters about you. And tomorrow I'll be writing more new characters on my other book, so you won't exactly see me at the exact same time, meaning at the earliest time, because I'll be walking my dog on Friday. But you will exactly see me on Friday. But don't worry and don't panic, you'll exactly see me tomorrow on Friday. So anyway, let's discuss this supervillain and exactly talk about him. In Showface's early life, he began his criminal career in his early life stage in order to exactly create a reputation of himself. He was quietly trained by his mother, who was the most powerful, deadliest, and the most efficient and most polite assassin ever known and ever lived. His mother exactly trained Soulface in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, guns, and taser blades and swords, agility and endurance, and super strength and super speed. Able to exactly train his son in order to fight in those abilities in order to becoming the most powerful, high profile assassin and also supervillain ever lived throughout the sacred world and throughout the sacred universe. Showface was quietly proud and very pleased that his skills is able to adapt even further than to his mother, able to exactly get the abilities he quietly required in order to fight against any superhero or any other superhero he might exactly encounter throughout the world and throughout the sacred world itself exactly. During at that time, Showface's mother was quietly dying of cancer. She was quietly diagnosed of cancer and she was quietly dying on her deathbed. Showface was quietly very sad that he was about to lose his mother and was very quietly proud that his mother taught him the ways on how to defend himself and how to fight for himself and order how to create a reputation for himself as well. On his mother's last dying breath, his mother told Showface that he needs to be the greatest assassin and the most powerful supervillain ever lived throughout the sacred world and throughout the world of humanity. That he exactly needs to be hired by the greatest masters, but the greatest dark masters ever lived in order for his reputation to grow more powerful and as well indestructible. Showface exactly told his mother that is exactly what he's willing to do, and he will fulfill his mother's last dying wish no matter what. After that, Showface quietly buried his mother. After that, Showface quietly secretly buried his mother through a sacred gravesite where she'll be exactly placed to be buried from, because his mother was also quietly a wanted criminal, a wanted supervillain criminal throughout the sacred world by the Four Nation Hunters, who previously exactly waged war with the Four Nation Hunters in order to gather and stealing some raw technology and destructive technology for the Shadow Empire warlords and as well for the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders. During at that time, Showface quietly buried her mother well with dignity and with great love and with great command. After that, Showface began his work, started beginning his reputation and his career as a super criminal and as well as an assassin and a supervillain by targeting the most powerful superheroes such as Sacred Man, United Man, Planet Man 4, leader and founder of the Four Nation Hunters, and also Power King himself. He targeted those superheroes in order to wage war with them. By doing so, he realized that these superheroes are quietly too powerful and very quietly too deadly in order for him to exactly fight against them. He was able to fight in hand-to-hand combat against Sacred Man during at that time and against the leader of the Four Nation Hunters for himself. During at that time, he was overpowered by Sacred Man and 4A as they were able to overpower him with the skills of hand-to-hand combat and also Master Tactician by able to overpower the criminal and as well the supervillain. Showface exactly created a huge disappearing smoking act which was very, very quietly skilled. Showface is very quietly skilled in disappearing, guys. He is very, very quietly skilled in disappearing and also in stealth, also creating a black smoke in order for him to disappear. He's very, very quietly skilled in that, able to exactly conjure a black smoke and a black fog in order to disappear and reappear at will. He's very gifted in that. In stealth, he's super gifted in that, and he's a super, super, super villain who's quietly gifted in disappearing and also in reappearing at will at that time. He was able to disappear. He was able to disappear. He was able to disappear through the smoke. He was able to create at will at that time, and Sacred Man and Four weren't able to exactly locate him. Showface is even a member of another ancient secret terrorist organization known as the Order of Darkness. Remember the Order of Darkness that I told you about, guys? He is part of that organization, but now he's now a former member of that organization. He didn't believe in the sacred criminal organization's goals and its mission. So which is why he exactly formally resigned from the organization and decided to do his own work and his own career by stealing raw technology and raw crystals from other alien races and from other alien worlds and from other alien races. In doing so, he became a high-profile criminal and a high-profile supervillain throughout the sacred world and throughout the known universe. Wanted from every other alien race and from any other alien planet, from him stealing technology and supplying it to numerous terrorists, or supplying it to numerous powerful masterminds, super criminals such as the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, the Galactic itself, supplying those other terrorists, supplying those other sacred terrorist criminal organizations of the masterminds by giving them more destructive technology. During at that time, Red Bolt exactly reappeared to Showmaster's warehouse. Showmaster exactly maintains his usual basis of operations where he can exactly operate by himself by using warehouses as a base of operations in order for him to exactly operate from in secrecy. Red Bolt exactly appeared at that time in order to exactly gave Showface a proposition which he cannot refuse. He gave him a proposition where he will exactly become the enforcer of the Dark Order. In doing so, his reputation, he will exactly rise to greater responsibilities than ever in order to taking the name of Showface. And in doing so, Showface reluctantly agreed that he will exactly accept the offer and as well as a proposition in becoming the most powerful, notorious super criminal ever existed throughout the sacred world and throughout the sacred universe. He shake hands with Red Bolt, and he was very quietly pleased that he'll be joining forces with Red Bolt and assisting him with his greater goals and his ultimate goals and his universal domination and his world domination goals in ruling and in controlling the Shadow Empire and the known universe and the sacred world itself as well. And at the 1st of September, Showface was able to meet up with the members. Showface was able to meet up with the members of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders in order to tell them to pledge allegiances and loyalty to the new Shadow Empire that Red Bull was quietly leading. The other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders did not exactly want to show their loyalty and allegiance to Red Bull's allegiance and loyalty to him. But in doing so, Showface was able to kill one Shadow Empire warlord, make an example out of him in order to pledge their loyalty to pledging their allegiance and loyalty to the new Shadow Empire led by Red Bolt and his organization and his secret society. The Shadow Empire warlords and commanders promised in order to show their loyalty and allegiances to Red Bolt and his organization and also in his secret society of supervillains known as the Dark Order. And Showface was quietly reluctantly pleased. Showface was able to meet up with the members of the Dark Order on the 3rd of September, telling them that the mission was a success. All the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders able to successfully pledge their allegiances and their loyalties to the Dark Order and to the new empire as well as to his new regime. Red Bolt was quietly pleased, saying that he made a right choice. He made a rightful choice by making you to become the enforcer of the Dark Order, and as well as James was able to testify that, meaning that he made the successful right decision by making him to becoming by making him made the right decision by becoming the enforcer of the Dark Order, meaning that his tactical skills and his threatening skills and his position are very good and are very, very admirable, meaning that he could exactly do a very impressive job with the organization and as well as its missions by any means. The Bell was quietly impressed, so was Lady Smoke, and so was Jackal, and so was Tyler, and so was the Note Knight. They were all quietly impressed. So was 9 and 7. And Showface's work and as well as his mission. Red Bull gave Showface more missions and more responsibilities, and to make sure that all the other Shin Empire warlords commanders pledge their loyalties and their allegiance, and also to taking out the Universal Heroes and the Universal Earth Heroes. Showface was quietly pleased that he'll be having the honor and the pleasure in taking down the Universal Heroes and the Universal Earth Heroes. During at that time, Showface began preparing an ambush for the Universal Earth Heroes at the time on the 13th of September with the other Shin Empire warlords and commanders in order to successfully take them out of the way and remove them out of the way completely. When the Universal Earth Heroes arrived at the abandoned planet in order to liberate, they found the other Shin Empire warlords and commanders waiting for them with destructive technologies in order to take them out. And Showface was quietly present there at the time, meaning saying that the great masters exactly ordered you heroes to be removed out of the way, orders from above and orders from below, meaning that from the big bad and from the big bad masters, the heroes have to be fully exterminated, meaning they have to be completely to be wiped out, as in removed out of the way. What Boy said that whoever exactly gave you the orders, meaning that they quietly underestimated their ability. Showface told the other Shin Empire warlords and commanders and assassins to exactly begin taking places in order to ambushing them and completely wiping them out, while Showface exactly began launching his attack straightly at Warpoint, focusing it straightly at Warpoint. All the other assassins began launching their attack and everything else, while Magic Universal Girl began conjuring up a huge dust, huge black wind of smoke dust in order to cover up their tracks, while Universal Earthmen began launching their troops against the assassin. In the meantime, Opa was consistently fighting against Showface in hand-to-hand combat with launching his abilities and his superpowers, while Showface began launching his guns and his bullets and everything else against Warboy, who was able to overpower him so quickly. Showface began disappearing at the time, stating that the battle and the war is not exactly far from over, meaning not completely far from over, not exactly completely far from over, and he began disappearing at will. During at that time, all the other Shin Empire warlords and all the other dark assassins had been quietly been apprehended and been secretly transferred straightly into the Astro Prison, a prison designed to hold super criminals and rogue evil superheroes and powerful dark druids and dark witches and evil Shin Empire warlords and commanders and supervillains and unknown criminals and unknown sacred criminals throughout the sacred world and throughout the sacred universe, and unknown evil groups of Formation Hunters as well. They were quietly sentenced straightly into the Astro Prison to remain into the Astro Prison for custody. Showface was able to reappear. Showface was able to reappear at will, straightly into meeting with the other Shin Empire warlords commander, stating that the ambush couldn't have exactly worked well, meaning it's time for them to conquer other worlds and other planets. And the Russian Empire warlords and the commanders quietly agree that it's exactly time. The Intergalactic Coalition was able to liberate major worlds and major civilizations with one fell swoop by defeating the Russian Empire warlords and commanders in one fell swoop, while the other half of the Russian Empire warlords commanders began attacking the Intergalactic Coalition, forcing the Intergalactic Coalition to stretch its resources with the help of the United Heroes, who quietly assisted them. The battle waged on for 2 months and for 3 months as it continued to wage on over and over, and Showface watched from the monitors throughout the 13th of September, stating that everything else is quietly going exactly the way it was meant to be, meaning everything else is quietly going in order. Showface was able to exactly reappear at the throne room on the 1st of October, stating to Red Bolt that the plan successfully worked well and the enemy is quietly neutralized. Red Bolt was able to represent him a new powerful dark warlock known as Warlock Jim, who is an associate of the newly Little Magic's organization and secret society known as the Order of Power, meaning that Jim, the most powerful dark warlock, will be working for us as well, and was quietly deployed by our newest competitor known as the newly Little Magic, stating that we might need more extra hand and more extra backup. And Showface quietly reluctantly agreed to that, exactly stating that it would be quietly good in order to have an extra pair of hands and an extra pair of eyes. During at that time, Showface quietly presented the dark, powerful warlock to other Shin Empire warlords and commanders that this is Warlock Jin, that he will exactly be aiding them on their mission and their respective conquest. The other Shin Empire warlords and commanders stated that they don't need a powerful warlock, but one dark druid exactly said that the powerful dark warlock known as Jim, his skills will be very much of an asset in everything else will be quietly needed. That exactly took place on the 15th of October. Showface exactly began extracting the equipment as he needed, while Firebird was quietly on his tail in order to exactly focus. Doing so, Fire Dragon was also well on his tail as well, trailing him as well in order to allow the two sisters to get on him while the heroes were quietly distracted by the other assassins who were quietly occupying them. Showface was able to reluctantly escape, able to exactly get the briefcase he needed, and was successfully able to arrive at their warehouse on the same day exactly, and he brought the briefcase he exactly required with all the equipment and everything else for his associates to begin experimenting. The dog Bullock said that Showface well done job and a very impressive job Showface, meaning that everything else should be rightfully in order. While Showface and led the associates experiments by releasing their skills and their powers straightly at the crystal and everything else they had launched it, he began scouting the warehouse and only thing was able to see that Warboy and Rex were quietly on there, and before he can exactly able to kill them, Fire Dragon launched straightly an arrow straight their Showface in order to protect Warboy and the other heroes, which exactly quickly launched the other heroes in order to silently wage a battle. Firebird was exactly able to storm into the room where there were a group of Dark Druids and then a group of Shadow Empire warlords and told them to exactly stand up. Jim, the most powerful Dark Warlock, who completely left nothing but fragments of statues of themselves as we completely facilitated the escape of the villains in order for them to escape with these dark magic, as we are able to exactly allow them to escape with these dark magic, leaving completely nothing but statues of themselves as the villains are able to escape, and Showface was able to successfully to be teleported away. When Firebird's sister Fire Dragon arrived at her home, she found Showface quietly waiting there for him exactly. She exactly told Showface exactly told her that her interference will not exactly into what's exactly taking place for the ultimate goal that's quietly being set in motion, meaning that he cannot afford any interference or anything else like that. And Fire Dragon exactly told Showface that he will exactly get interference or anything else, especially to your big bad bosses, meaning by taking them down will be the highest priority of my team and my sister's team, which I heavily believe in doing that. And Showface was quietly, reluctantly very angry at this and not successfully. I'm very happy with this at all. Not even exactly for the first time or for the second time. Not quietly pleased or exactly successfully happy with this at all. On the 1st of November, Showface and the other Shadow Empire warlords and assassins gathered the island in order to prepare to enslave the rest of the Phoenician Undercouncil with their crystals, but their operation was quietly thwarted to the interference of Firebird's team, and the Universal Earth Heroes were able to quickly survive off the assassins and the rest of the Dark Witches and the rest of the Dark Druids. Showface was quickly able to focus his attack on Firebird, able to successfully taking her down, but Showface quietly realized that he was quietly evenly matched with Firebird, who's a superhero and a daughter of Ghostmaster and Nora, the Light Hunter. In doing so, she was quickly able to be evenly matched. In doing so, he told Firebird he knows exactly who her sister is, and in doing so, Firebird didn't exactly have time in order to be blackmailed or to be threatened, able to successfully take him down. Showface quickly, reluctantly disappeared straightly into the abyss of darkness throughout the jungle, and was not able to exactly successfully appear again. Showface was able to meet up with the members of the Dark Order, telling them that the plan exactly worked well, meaning brilliantly as the Universal Heroes, the Universal Earth Heroes, and Firebird's team took the bait as anticipated on the 2nd of October. And Bile was quietly pleased with the work and everything else, and so was James, meaning that everything else is quietly in order, and so was the Note Night Assassin. So was the Note Night Assassin supervillain, meaning everything else is rightfully in order. Showface was able to meet up with Red Bull straightly at the throne room of the Shadow Empire on the 4th of October, meaning that everything else is quietly falling into place. Red Bolt exactly told Showface that the Star Empire is beginning to launch a full, healthy assault on the Sacred World and the Sacred Universe, planning to reconquering and reclaiming it again as always, meaning he would like for Showface to investigate and find out exactly what are they planning and what's happening within the Star Empire. And Showface exactly agreed that he would exactly do that. Showface arrived on the Star Empire on the 1st of December in order to investigate exactly what was happening. He heard rumors with the other Star Empire commanders and other soldiers of the Star Empire commanders listening to their conversation as the Star Witch Queen and the rest of the Star Prince of his son and his secret society organization known as the Dark Star planning in order to conquering the sacred universe and the sacred world and destroying the Star Empire for good and taking it down for good, meaning that they'll be able to conquer the sacred world in the sacred universe and in ruling the sacred universe by removing the Universal King and the Universal Earth Heroes and the Universal Heroes and the World Heroes and the Universal Space Heroes and the Universal Defending Heroes and the United Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition out of the way permanently. Showface was able to meet up with Red Bolt on the 3rd of December, telling him the news and what he exactly heard from the other commanders, and the other commanders of the Star Empire, that the Star Empire is willing to exactly conquer and destroy the sacred universe, and by conquering it and by removing the Universal King and the Shadow Empire leader who is exactly currently in command of it. And Red Ball acquired this successful piece as he told the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to begin prepping for in order to destroy the Intergalactic Coalition once and for all. The war between the Intergalactic Coalition and the Shadow Empire still waged on for months and for months. Planets and worlds and other alien civilization continue to fighting for power and for control of the galaxy and over the known universe, as the Universal King was quietly missing and quietly disappeared during at that time, forcing other alien rebels and alien clans and alien empires in order to conquer, which created a huge sacred galactic war, or sacred galactic power hungry war, or for control and for power itself, as the Intergalactic Coalition and the United Heroes did everything in their power and capacity to hold everything together and try to exactly restore peace and balance to the sacred universe and to the sacred world and to the other universes such as the Golden Universe, Mixel, Robotics, Over Universe, Star Universe, and also Star Universe and Over Universe itself exactly as the sacred universe as well, trying to exactly restore peace and balance and prosperity to those universes and to the other worlds. Showface was able to watch through his central headquarters of his warehouse that the war did exactly as anticipated, meaning everything else is falling directly in order the way it was supposed to be. Showface, guys, is reluctantly a manipulator and a powerful criminal and a very deadly supervillain, smart and intelligent and very capable in fighting hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, agility, endurance, and also smart and brilliant, very skilled with a bow, sword, archery, skill with a bow and arrow and archery himself, and with the whip and with the sword and with guns, taser blades, weapons, and also in agility and endurance, skilled in hand-to-hand combat and skilled in hand-to-hand combat. He's also manipulative and also deceptive, as manipulating a group of Shadow Empire warlords commanders into doing his bidding in order to further the organization's goals and its mission, known as the Dark Order's goals and its mission in controlling the Shadow Empire for its own sinister plans and goals. In order for his sinister plans and goals to bear fruit in controlling the galaxy and the sacred universe and the sacred worlds, and by manipulating the Four Nation Hunters and the Universal Heroes into playing into one of the ultimate goals and into the ultimate schemes. Despite this, Showface is quietly very pleased that he found an evenly matched warrior such as Firebird in order to fight on against him. He's never found a worthy opponent throughout his long life, known as Firebird or Fire Dragon, in order to fight against him. He views Firebird and Fire Dragon and Universal Man and Universal Earth Hero and Universal Earthman as his top competitors in a game of fighting against each other, and he quietly despises and hates Ghostmaster no matter what he exactly done. He views him as his top competitor game in a criminal world, in a sacred criminal world, and he'll do whatever it takes to defeat his daughters, known as Firebird and Fire Dragon, no matter what. Despite this, Showface likes to compete against other villains. He's a very great competitor, especially against Golden Knight and Red Knight and Ghostmaster. He will compete against those other villains. He'll do whatever it takes to make himself his reputation to become intactable and also to remain indestructible, no matter what. He's smart, very clever, and very intelligent, supplying the Dark Order and the rest of the Shadow Empire warlords with more crystals and more destructive technology, and also supplying the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful with more destructive technology as part of the agreement and as part of the deal. In doing so, Showface maintains his individual bases of operations, such as the warehouse and also other warehouses throughout planet Earth, secret towns and buildings that he uses abandoned buildings in order to operate from and maintaining, in order to monitor the sacred galactic conflict and the war, in order to exactly keep watch as his enemies play straightly into his ultimate goal and into the ultimate goal of the Dark Order's goals and as well of the Dark Order's mission. He highly respects Red Bolts and the members of the Dark Order, as he respects them, as he sees them as his masters, and he quietly respects them, and he quietly will do anything for them, and in order to further their goals and their mission for his ultimate plan, he'll make sure that the Dark Order's ultimate plan and goals are quietly bear fruit in controlling the known universe and the sacred world and the sacred universe, especially even by waging war, by conquering the Star Universe, by waging war with the Star Empire and the Dark Star, by conquering the Star Universe has been the top priority of Showface in order to rule it, by using the resources, by ultimately utilizing the resources of the Shadow Empire in order to conquer the Star Universe for his own goals. He's been obsessed in conquering the Star Universe ever since, guys. He's been obsessed in conquering it, and he's so obsessed in ruling the Star Empire. His top competitor in ruling the Star Empire is the Star is the Star Prince and the Star Witch Queen. He views them as a threat and an obstacle to their plans. He's learned very well not to underestimate their abilities or their powers in conquering the Star Universe, since they are quite obsessed in conquering the sacred universe and the sacred world. And he'll do whatever it takes to manipulating the Formation Hunters and the dark and the monsters that come from the dark dimension into playing into his ultimate goal and to playing to his ultimate goal and to his ultimate obsession in defeating Firebird and the Universal Heroes and the World Heroes and the United Heroes and the United Heroes and the Sacred Heroes and also in the Sacred Team and the Sacred Heroes and the United Heroes and Intergalactic Coalition, because he views them as an obstacle, as a threat with their abilities, as they intervene with their operations, and he quietly views them as a nutcase to the operation and as well to their plans. He learned from his lost encounter with Firebird that the Universal Heroes and the Universal Earth Heroes cannot be underestimated, especially their abilities. They cannot be underestimated by any and all means necessary. He's very skilled with bow, arrow, archery, swords, guns, taser blades, hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, endurance and agility, super strength, super speed, and super hearing. He's a super villain with no superpowers, but inherit a little superpowers because he possesses a serum, a special serum that gives him superpowers such as super speed, super hearing, invulnerability, and also super strength and invulnerability as well. He's also gained the power of invulnerability, which makes him more indestructible and more untouchable. According to Vibebird's database, Showface is not meant to be underestimated. He's ruthless and cruel and heartless, manipulative, and also a master tactician and a strategist, forming an alliance with a group of other supervillains in order to aid them with their respective conquests and in order to respect them with the respective conquests in conquering the sacred world and the sacred universe and the Star Universe. He quietly respects the Dark Order, the members of the Dark Order, and he'll do anything for them in order to make sure that their plans bear fruit and in order for Red Bull to exactly achieve his ultimate goal and purpose in conquering the Star Universe and also the Star Empire and the sacred world and the sacred universe. And by leading the Shadow Empire, he'll utilize the Shadow Empire's resources in order to fulfill his own goals and his missions by any means necessary. He is one of the best mercenary and one of the greatest super villains ever lived and the greatest assassins ever lived. Smart and intelligent, highly skilled in destructive technology, in power technology, and also in highly skilled in crystal technology, guns, and also blades. Very skilled and not meant to be underestimated. According to the Formation Hunters, Showface is a deadly super assassin and super villain who's not meant to be underestimated, who's also an enforcer of the Dark Order, an ancient organization of super villains who are quietly dedicated to ruling and leading the Shadow Empire and also in controlling the known universe and the sacred world and the sacred universe itself. That is what I'm here to tell you guys. Showface is not meant to be underestimated. He learns from the hero's interference. He learns from the hero's last interference that the abilities in the interference are not meant to be taken lightly or not meant to be taken quietly lightly. He learns from his mistakes and he quietly learns from his great mistakes that Firebird and her teams of heroes cannot be underestimated, especially the abilities in thwarting the operation and their plans. He learns that they cannot be underestimated at all. Not at all. And Soulface, guys, is not meant to be underestimated. Soulface is not meant to be underestimated. He's a cruel, smart, sadistic criminal who loves to battle, but who also has a power and ability to disappear and reappear at will, and he has a power of stealth in remaining insecretive, able to blend in within the shadows. He's a skillful assassin and a supervillain, not meant to be taken lightly or not meant to be underestimated by any hero or any villains. He doesn't like it when the Universal Heroes or Firebird and her team interfere with his operations, but he learns from his failures that these heroes cannot be underestimated, not especially with their abilities. He learns from that. He always learns, guys. He's a faster learner, and he's greatly good in adaptability and endurance. He's very good. He's an enforcer of an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Dark Order, with the goal to ruling and leading the Shadow Empire and in controlling the known universe and the sacred world and the sacred universe and the other universes, the Gold, Star, Mixel, Robotics, Over Universe, and Sacred Universe. That is its goal, by any means necessary. Showface is very ambitious and very determined. He'll do whatever it takes to remain in power and to make sure that his masters remain in power, no matter what. No matter what, guys. No matter what. Well, guys, that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow on Friday. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow on Friday. Have a great evening and an afternoon. And also, don't try to wear too much jerseys or jacket, but it's all completely up to you guys. Literally completely up to you guys what you wear or whatever you decide, because it's literally too hot now. As you can see, if it's cold wherever you are, I will exactly understand that. So stay safe and stay happy. I will see you tomorrow on Friday, the last day. Tomorrow on Friday, the last day. Yes, tomorrow on Friday. Friday, last day. Have a great evening and afternoon. Bye. Bye.